Uberstate is a leader in banking as a service for cryptocurrency, payment processing, and staking digital assets in different asset classes. And with me from Uberstate is Jeff Davis, the CEO, and also Marlon Richards, a co-founder. Great to have you guys.
Pleasure to be here.
Nice to be on.
So if you can both give me your background and how did you get to this point of launching a crypto-oriented company? Jess, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. So we both have backgrounds in legacy industries. In my case, commercial real estate and banking. I looked for a career change in around 2017, which is when I found Marlon, and had looked at opportunities in the fintech industry that would allow me to combine my previous work experience. So we started off looking at real estate and how to crowdfund real estate using, non-conventional methods such as fintech or, online portals. And then when blockchain and ICOs took off, we looked at, potentially creating our own cryptocurrency and using that as a medium for either staking or creating some form of monetization for real estate. So that's what kind of led us down this path, and here we are today.
Well, in 2017 was about when I got introduced to it too. So Marlon, what about you?
Yeah, very similar. That Jess and I kind of met randomly on one of the social networks, LinkedIn, and at the time I was my background is actually in private equity and finance. So when Jess kind of was on his path, we kind of met and we just kind of we sat down and we said, hey, well, you know what? How can we actually incorporate real estate and crowdfunding? And then from there, it really just kind of led down a path of obviously cryptocurrency and just understanding the regulation of it. For us, because we come from legacy backgrounds, we understand that regulation is a requirement and it's important. So we were always looking at ways in incorporating that into what we were doing, and then gradually just kind of growing with the industry, right? The technology in itself, fintech in itself, is evolving so quickly that it's hard to keep a pulse really on it. But if you understand the big picture of what you're really trying to accomplish, I think you can find ways to incorporate that in a business. So that's what we've found and been able to do. Well,
and I think real estate lends itself well to blockchain.
That's right.
So it kind of makes sense that you would go there. So let's step back for a second. Give me just what does Uberstate do? Give me an overall view of the company. How can people use it?
So primarily, we would be a business and consumer-facing application that allows banking as a service for customers who want to bank in cryptocurrency. So having accounts that are Bitcoin related, as opposed to accounts that are just fiat currency related, so that there's potential upside for the users and their ability to save and spend. So there's that. We also have our own cryptocurrency that focuses on real estate payments networks, which is RIT 2.0. It's been trending in the market for about 6 months now. And that native currency powers our platform. So all of our crypto debit cards and bank accounts and anything else crypto related the company does on the B2B side or on the B2C side is all in our own native currency. Okay. So that use case of digital payments is being altered by cryptocurrency globally. At this point, it's not just us who's doing it. There are multiple other competitors, but our forte is providing liquidity for real estate payments networks and real estate transactions in general. Aside from the business and consumer application, we are developing a digital ledger for real estate transactions of any kind internationally. So it's quite the path at this point, because the industry has really picked up. There's a lot going on globally in cryptocurrency. Regulators are now weighing in as to what constitutes a compliant platform. You're seeing, companies like Binance that have dominated the market, getting some interference out there with respect to the way that they manage their business. So really in 2021, if you are in the cryptocurrency business, you're in the compliance business, which we are in a big way.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you have to be. And I think that's one thing, and we can talk about this a little bit more later, but that's one thing that will allow for mass adoption is when people start to feel comfortable that they're not going to lose all their money and things like that.
Really, right now, we're focused more on the interaction with consumers. So
Okay.
that is the banking as a service side of things, right? Getting people, I think right now with cryptocurrency, most people just know cryptocurrency as a way to trade it. Right? They buy Bitcoin, they're choosing either to hold on to it or they're going to trade it for another, digital asset. What I've tried to do is move away from the I guess the wording of cryptocurrency, and I look at these as mostly digital assets. So, for us, we want to get people more accustomed to accessing digital assets, right? And you can do that through, like we say, a banking as a service type platform, and just getting them comfortable with being able to access it and being able to spend it, right? Treating it like any other currency that gives people that comfortability, like you're saying, and the know-how of actually how to use it, what it can be used for.
Right. It has an application. So it's actually used as a currency, because I think some people still are like, is it a currency or an asset or what is it? So it's so early. And so, I mean, what do you enjoy most about the day to day of, I guess you're still kind of a startup, right? So what would you say you're liking about discovering this new business and new industry?
Well, so like as for a startup, we're about four years going on 5 years as a company. So we've I would say we exited, being true startup, and we're looking to grow and scale our business since we have this fintech platform now. What I enjoy most about it is that every day is a unique challenge, and we often work with very dynamic people from around the globe. So we're not just dealing with people in our backyard here in Winnipeg. We're dealing with a global team, anywhere from Miami to New York to Dubai, you name it. Blockchain really is a global business, so it's really cool because you get to meet people from all over the world who want to help you grow your business. And most of the major centers in cryptocurrency are not actually in North America. They're in, parts of Asia like Singapore, the UAE and Dubai, like, London even is becoming really well known for being one of the most influential cities in the world for cryptocurrency and fintech. So you almost like, I've used this metaphor in the past, and I always like to ask, maybe I can ask you, what was the first when you first saw a cell phone? Can you remember what you thought about that?
So the first cell phone I saw was one of those bag phones when I was in college. You remember those? Like you plugged it into the lighter of your car, and it was like literal, it was huge. So that was the first one that I saw. And then I'd had various, now I've got an iPhone. So, but yeah, I mean, I see the point you're trying to make is it takes a while for people to kind of accept new technology.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And it takes some time for a new technology like that to become ubiquitous to the point where, one, it's very affordable for people to use, right? Like we can all remember when cell phones were like $2,000 or whatever it is to buy a top of the line one. Now you can get a top of the line cell phone for next to nothing, right? For almost $0 with all of the cool features, bells and whistles that can have you, turn your alarm system on, do anything. So blockchain is one of these really pervasive technologies that is going to disintermediate a lot of industries. And just like email took over from snail mail cryptocurrency, whether it's a stable coin or Bitcoin, will eventually usurp part of what we consider to be the everyday financial system, because it's
Mhm.
just easier to use once you understand it. It's just
Right.
getting to that understanding part that really freaks people out.
Well, yeah, I mean, and by the way, like I love the internationalness of this too. I mean, I've interviewed people on Zoom in the craziest places in the world. I've been to
Yeah.
some crazy places doing blockchain, and
Yeah.
I think that's just a wonderful thing about it. And maybe it kind of speaks to the globalization that cryptocurrency will introduce, I think, someday. So Marlon, so we talked a little bit about regulation and kind of mass adoption. I mean, what do you see are some of the hurdles that cryptocurrency must overcome?
Well, I think being obviously in its infancy stages,
Yeah.
it 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 brings out a lot of different types of people and characters.
Mm.
And right now, I think what happens is you have a mix of of people that are for the system and trying to use it for good, and then you have a mix of people that are obviously trying to use it for bad. And right now, as the industry tries to weed out, I think a lot of the bad characters. That's really kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of a hard needle to thread too, because part of the beauty of cryptocurrency is getting away from all the regulation
Right.
and all the central
Right.
banks and things, but yet you still need it. So it's like very delicate balance there to make sure that it's people trust it, but yet it's not overregulated and controlled by
Right.
one
Well,
institution.
and it's difficult, right? Especially with the the technological elements that come involved, where you can relatively remove a lot of the intermediary that's involved, and make it more of a peer-to-peer type transaction. So now you have to find ways to trust what is on the other side of that peer-to-peer transaction.
Okay, so let's talk about Uberstate. So how would you say it distinguishes, the company is distinguished from its competitors?
So what we have a vision to do is to simplify the user experience in cryptocurrency, uh, down to the point where it's almost a bank-like experience, and it would be no different than signing up for a challenger bank application that is more virtual than not, right? So like the everyday experience of cryptocurrencies, as Marlon mentioned, mainly in environments where you trade cryptocurrency on an exchange. So you would need to know how to do that, how to place a limit order or a market order and trade, a distinctive token or a major coin from one, to another. So BTC to USDT. That's a process for most people to learn, and the majority of the population don't pay attention if it becomes too complicated, right? So most of the interfaces out there are exchanges. We're using a bank interface. So if you can think of your bank application, whether that's through Bank of America or TD Bank or Wells Fargo, our application would look very similar to that. The beauty of what we're doing is that we're actually using institutional strategies that are proven with really, really, really big track records, so that we don't pass that risk on to a consumer who doesn't know anything about cryptocurrency but is encouraged to stake cryptocurrency.
So finally, I mean, if you could kind of explain where Uberstate goes from here, what's your roadmap, say, for the next 1 to 3 years? Marlon, you want to chime in and then we'll let Jess finish it up?
Sure. Yeah, well, I think right now, actually, we're starting just to gain a little bit more exposure. So our marketing efforts really have started to kind of increase, and just being able to explain, our business and really kind of what we're about. So that's really our kind of our first step, is getting that global presence, and then really it's ramping up some of our relationships that we already have, as just kind of mentioned, with the legacy, or sorry, with some of the other platforms that are kind of out there. You know, we have really good relationships with already existing companies in the crypto world. You know, Blockfills is kind of one of our
Oh, yeah.
has been one of one of our key supporters actually, just in being able to get to kind of where we are. We also have a relationship with Unbanked that offers card services. So it's really just getting our customers now familiar with these products that Uberstate realistically offers.
Mhm. Okay, well, this is one step there because we're doing an interview, and it's been great to meet you, Jess and Marlon, and good luck. And I'd love to
Yeah.
do an update in 6 months or something as you start to get some more things underway.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Let's look at doing that.
That'd be
And
great.
appreciate the interview and just you being able to connect with us. I know we're all the way up here in the middle of Canada,
Oh, you're not
so
that far
we don't get
away.
to we don't unfortunately, not being in a blockchain centric environment, it has forced us to reach out to some of the epic centers out there and get to know people such as yourselves in the industry, and being able to share our story. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
thank you,
great.
Ken.
Great. Thank you.